It's Tuesday, October 14, 2025 at 2:00 p.m. We're going to call the meeting of the North Township Board for the month of October to order. The Pledge of Allegiance led by our veteran member, Richard Novak.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, Secretary Salinas-Matanich.
Chairman Peter Kadik.
Here.
Board Secretary Lisa Salinas-Matanich. Here. Board Member Rich Novak.
Here.
Trustee Adrian Santos.
Here.
Board Clerk Nicole Micah. Here. Financial Director Sue Tokars. Here. North Township Attorney Kevin Smith.
Here.
Board Finance Consultant Aaron Finley. Park Superintendent, nope. David Medina is absent. Golf Superintendent is absent. Kyle Cade, and Dial-A-Ride Director Olivia is not here also. We have a quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum. Thank you. We have the minutes of the, we have two sets of minutes. We have the minutes of the workshop minutes of Tuesday, September 9, 2025. I had a couple technical corrections that I submitted to Clerk Mika, and then other than that, I don't know if my fellow board members had an opportunity to review it, or do they need to review it now? And whenever we're ready, I'll entertain a motion to adopt, to approve the workshop minutes of September 19, of September 9.
You and I were the only ones here. So
Yeah, correct. Of the workshop minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the workshop minutes.
Okay, and I'll
From,
second that motion. There were two of us present
September
last month. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I will show it approved 2-0 for this month's purposes. The same goes with the North Township Board minutes for Tuesday, September 9, 2025, which was held at a regular time at 2:00 p.m. We had two members present. Have our members had an opportunity to review the minutes? And if we're ready, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Tuesday, September 20, 2025, North Township Board minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
And I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion approves 2-0. Okay, we are under old business. Is there any old business? I have no old business momentarily. Secretary Salinas-Matanich, any old business?
I have none.
Member Novak, any old business?
Just one question. Maybe our trustee can help us out. As far as our gas and all that for our bus rides, are we still in sufficient
yeah, the
balance?
NERC funds, everything's good. We did receive 2 new buses from NERC, and they're going to be auctioning off. And I know we talked a little bit about purchasing, and we did purchase an extra bus. So, we have our mechanic who's certified, a diesel certified mechanic that goes out there and checks on anything we purchase before we buy, so that we're not buying a lemon or anything like that. So we did make a good purchase, and we did receive the 2 new buses from NERC. So in terms of the gas, yes, we're doing it.
And I just got one more question. On this new budget that we put in for, or that we're going to approve today, I hope, do we put gas in that budget itself, besides what we get from NERC? Do you know? So it'd be covered?
But we do have money set aside
Okay.
for that, for transportation, whether it
Just
would
wanna
be
make
for
sure.
repairs or for gas or whatever.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Trustee Santos, any old business?
No, Mr. President.
Any old business from any of the rest of our staff present? Okay. We are now on new business. On new business, we'll start off with Resolution 2025-05, the adoption of the 2026 budget. I'll read that into the record because this is very important, our annual budget. Ordinance or resolution for appropriations and tax rates. Ordinance resolution number 2025-05. Be it ordained or resolved by the North Township Board that for the expenses of North Township, Lake County for the year ending December 31st, 2026, the sums herein specified are hereby appropriated in order to set apart out of the several funds herein named and for the purpose herein specified, subject to the laws governing the same. Such sums herein appropriated shall be held to include all expenditures authorized to be made during the year unless otherwise expressly stipulated and provided for by law. In addition, for the purposes of raising revenue to meet the necessary expenses of North Township, Lake County, the property tax levies and property tax rates as herein specified are included here in Budget Form 4-B. For all funds must be completed and submitted in the manner prescribed by the Department of Local Government Finance. The ordinance resolution shall be in full force and effect and after its passage and approval by the North Township Board. Then we show here the adopting entity is the North Township Board. The type of entity is a Township Board. The date of the adoption, today's date. We show the funds and the fund names. We show General Township Assistance Recreation, Cumulative Recreation, Park and Recreation. We show a column with the adopted budget with the numbers that you see here. We show a column with the adopted tax levy with the numbers that you see here. And we show a column with the adopted tax rate with the numbers that you see here, followed by signature lines for we, the members, in accordance with Indiana Code 6-1.1-17-16K. We state our intent to issue debt after December 1st and before January 1st, and yes or no on those two line items. That's the resolution 2025-05. As far as for discussion purposes, on my end, we discussed this with our financial consultant, Steve Dalton, at last month's meeting. We had the workshop last month. We also discussed these at the August meeting as well. Those were thoroughly presented to the details of all of what's contained in this resolution were presented to us in detail at both of the last two monthly meetings and to the public as well. And for my part of the discussion, I see all of this as an apparent and legal, all proper order, and I have no questions of our financial consultant present today, Mr. Finley. Secretary Lisa Salinas Montanovich, do you have any discussion on this resolution?
I do not.
Member Novak, do you have any discussion
No,
on
sir.
this? Okay, hearing no further discussion on this resolution, and we're very grateful to our financial consultant. So Mr. Finley, relay that to Mr. Dalton, that we're happy with the competency regarding this resolution. All in favor of ordinance resolution number 2025-05, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. No, there are no nays.
Don't we
Motion
have-
passes.
Question, please.
Yes.
Don't we have to have this, a motion to accept before we even start voting on this, or no?
No. We can
Okay.
vote this directly.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to make sure we're right.
Yeah, we can vote on this directly.
Okay.
This ordinance resolution number 2025-05 passes 3-0. Okay. We are now on item 5B, resolution 2025-06, the adoption of the salary ordinance. Resolution 2025-06, establishing the salaries of township officers and employees. Be it resolved by the Township Board of North Township, Lake County, Indiana, that pursuant to Indiana Code 36-6-6-10C, the salaries stated below are fixed for the offices and employees of the township for the year 2026. And on the first page, we see on the position of office, we see all the township list of the staff. We see below that, we see the township assistants list for all the staff with the numbers of positions, the rates of compensations, and if it's per year or per hour. And be it resolved by the Township Board of North Township, Lake County, we see also the positions for recreation on page 2. So we've had an opportunity, I have had an opportunity to review this. If our fellow members need time to review it. If not, I'm ready to call it for a vote.
The only question I have on this resolution, now as far as the rate of compensation, that's done by our trustee? if somebody's going from 5 to 10,000 or 8,000 to 10,000.
You talking about the range?
Yeah, you're the one that,
Yeah, so we bring, most employees that we bring in any of these things, we would bring them in at the lower level until they establish themselves here and show that they're doing the job the way they're supposed to, and we have a 90-day review, and then we'll move it maybe mid, and then as they move along,
okay.
they'll move up. But yeah, we stay within the range, and that's how we do it.
Yeah, I think we discussed this before. There was like whether they're newcomers, whether they're on a probationary period, whether they're seasoned veterans and experienced in the job and all that, and that rate, the range is adjustable depending on all of those factors.
Yeah, expertise and
Expertise,
some
et
guys are
cetera.
electricians, some are not, kind
Right.
of that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Professional expertise.
but we stay within the range. And if we did want to move that range, we would have to come before you all and redo this or amend the salary ordinance. And
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
No.
Inquiries? Okay, with that said, on Resolution 2025-06, establishing the salaries of township officers and employees, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? No nays? The Resolution 2025-06 passes 3-0. We are now on 5C. I have no new business since the last meeting. Member Salinas Matamsh, do you have any new business?
No.
Member Novak, do you have any new business? New business is old business to a certain extent. Just at the end of the year, I would say at least by the first meeting we have in January, if we could have a breakdown on how many people we help for assistance as far as burial, food, rent, hospital stuff, whatever, I would like to see that. When, people ask me, I can say, hey, this is what we've done, how many rides we've given for, the tile ride and all this stuff, so.
I will make sure I get everything we give to, we get a breakdown of that, whether it be funeral assistance to, water. So I'll have that breakdown for the year for you. I'll make sure that we put that in their packets for the next year. Or when I get it ready, I can drop it off at your home. I can stick them in your mailbox and have Nikki send you a message.
And one other thing I'd like to have from the financial guys is, at the end of the year, and this is going to be January again, show what kind of revenue we brought in. Are we comparable to last year? Did we lose any? Did the golf carts help us out by having new ones, And I know the place has been pretty busy, and I hear a lot of good things about it. So that's just another thing I'd like to have, have in the back of my mind when people talk to me about what's actually happening here, the overhead. So that's all. Thank you.
Okay, any other new business? Trustee Santos?
Yes, I just wanted to mention, and I know you've probably received a lot of alarming phone calls about the cemetery incident that we had this past Friday. Just to bring you up to date that, yes, ICE did go out there, and what they were attempting to do was stage in our Oak Hill Cemetery, far in the middle of it, way in the back. And once again, I'm just assuming that they're doing that because they don't want to be seen by the public, because as soon as they're seen by the public, everybody pulls out their phone, they approach and, want to get somewhat confrontational. So they were out there. I received a phone call about 8:30 in the morning on Friday that our cemetery staff noticed, them congregating. So they called me as I was shooting over here, or shooting to Oak Hill Cemetery. The employee had already approached them, kind of asking who you are, what are you doing here? All those questions were asked. One guy showed his badge and his credentials, who he was and what they were doing. At that point, before he approached, we already had called Hammond PD to come out there because we didn't know what was going on other than a bunch of guys with masks and vehicles and the guns. We kind of know what it is, but we want to make sure before we approach a situation like that we're staying safe. So Hammond PD was called out. And before they could even approach to speak to any of those guys, because nobody could tell me whether they actually spoke, but I don't think they did, them guys left. They were there, according to the staff, there for 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes tops. As soon as we were all notified and they saw that staff, administrative staff were coming to the cemetery, them guys kind of just wrapped up and left. So I'm going to assume that in these next couple of weeks, we'll probably have a lot more of those. Whether they're going to be done here or in other places, I'm not sure. I'm just sure they're going to happen. I just want you all to know that our position as a township, if it's not coordinated, if nobody's called to pick up the phone to say, hey, we would like to sit down and discuss using a portion of whatever you have to whoever, but they're not doing that. Nobody's coordinated anything with us, so we told our staff, as soon as you see that, call me right away, call Nikki, and then we will call the proper authorities to have either those people leave. We all know that that's cemetery sacred ground. Sacred ground, people have their loved ones there. It's not a staging area for ICE to go out and do any of these things that they're doing. And if they are, there's a lot of land next door down the block from our building, which is a federal courthouse with a big parking lot that they can utilize for all that, but we are not going to allow them to do that on the cemetery grounds.
And we probably ought to keep an eye on the Hessville Cemetery.
Yeah, and we discussed that at length. We again assume that they won't go to Hessville. Why? Because it's so open to the public. You can see all the way to the other side, north to south, east to west. You can see the whole entire cemetery. But Oak Hill, it's a little. You can get in there and you can get all the way in the back corner and kind of get lost unless somebody or a staff member saw you. The fact that staff was arriving that morning and they were already there, it goes to show you that they were able to get in and hide in that corner. When our staff got there, they approached them, and them guys, they kind of cleaned house. They left right away. There was no altercation, no problems. Everybody was. They did show credentials. We just wanted to I wanted to bring you all up to speed because I know you've been getting phone calls and some worried constituents or loved ones are laid to rest there, thinking that we're utilizing our property for staging areas or anything like that. We are not. We were never told. We were never informed. And I guess they kind of got the message. And it seems like a message they're kind of getting in all the communities around here. So I know they did it in Hammond. They also did it in East Chicago. And, every city in town has done their statement. We did ours, telling them that, that's sacred ground, and we will not allow that. So that's where we're at. We haven't had an incident since then. Not saying that we're going to have one, that we won't have one in the next coming weeks, but that's where we're at. And that's the position, and that's where the township stands on. So long as they call and try to coordinate something else, we will talk. We will talk that out. I will talk with Kevin to make sure that we're doing everything legally, that we're legally doing what we can do and what we cannot do. But for right now, they are not utilizing or not allowed on any of our properties to conduct any of their official business. They can do that on their property, which would be the federal courthouse, I would assume, or wherever they stage that.
I'm very familiar with Oak Hill Cemetery, and I frequent there quite regularly with loved ones from our family and church community. And where in the cemetery did they congregate?
As you know, you go in, it's like a spider web of how you can branch out.
Correct.
It was the second path would be going to the east. So when they got in.
So when you enter on Kenwood, you go past the first split up and you get to the second
Second one.
split up, and then they went east.
Yeah, well, some went that way, and then some went up one, and then came around, and they kind of congregated way back up against that fence that be adjacent.
So
now to
they
our new social.
congregated in the middle of the cemetery along the easternmost fence that's along the new South Shore tracks,
That's what I was told.
near the
Because
trash bin.
when I got there, they were already dispersed. They were already
Near that
pulling
big trash dumpster and all of that
back corner.
neck of the
Yeah,
woods.
corner that a little further more north, But yes, that general area they were at. I think they kind of got the message too. Hammond PD showing up and our staff approaching them, they kind of got the message, and they're like, all right, we literally probably can't come back here anymore. And they got that message. So we haven't had any incidents since then, and we'll see how it works
Well,
out.
I know my grandfather was in the northeasternmost corner, and just south of that corner, along that fence, is even the infant baby section. And to think that we have this kind of presence with there's nothing, well, enough said about that. I just don't think that it's necessary. It's offensive to the memory of to our deceased loved ones and the deceased members of the public that are there.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly, and that's why we took the position of letting them know, or trying to let them know, that you can't have those kind of functions here without speaking to someone or talking to us. You just can't utilize our property to do that. And they were respectful, and they left. So But with that being said, I know you got some phone calls, and I know that everybody, our line was blown up. We got some messages that, I was there, I couldn't get into the cemetery. We got those kind of things. We don't know whether some of those statements are true or not. We just know that our statement is, when we found out, we approached the situation, we asked them, and they did. And we will continue to do that.
Okay. Thank you for that update on that unfortunate situation. Is there any other new business from any of the rest of our staff present here?
No.
Hearing no other new business, we're into number 6, public comment. Are there any members of the public who have any comment? Are there any members of the public who have any comment? Are there any members of the public who have any public comment? We see no members of the general public present at this meeting today, so we'll close number 6. Now, for the adjournment, as we were discussing prior to the start of the meeting, the second Tuesday of November falls on Veterans Day falls on the second Tuesday of November. So we're looking for an alternative date for our November meeting. We were discussing before the start of the meeting whether we were going to bump it a week to November 18, but we understand that there's some schedule conflict with activities with the township. The Tuesday, November 18, may not be good. So maybe we're looking for a deviation from our Tuesday cycle to maybe a Monday or a Wednesday. I know I'm available either Monday the 10th or Wednesday the 12th at 2 p.m. I don't know how my colleagues feel regarding that particular second week.
Well, November 10th is the Marine Corps birthday. I know I'm not going to be in too good a shape to be coming to a meeting. 250 years old.
Okay, I respect
So
that.
I could,
About the 17th, I'm open 17th, he's open 17th. Sue, I know, was on vacation on the 10th, so she'll be here 17th. We're on 17th,
Okay.
good for us, I don't know. if
That's a
it's-
Monday, correct?
Yes.
So we're now looking at Monday, November 17, 2 p.m. That would work for me.
that would work for me.
Works for Mr. Novak? Does it work for you?
17, okay.
Does that work for
2
our
o'clock?
trustee?
Yeah, that's,
2 p.m.?
yes, I'm putting it in as we
And I
speak.
think our staff, that works with our attorney and, okay.
Good.
All right, well then, we will deviate from our second Tuesday of the month because it falls on a holiday, Veterans Day in the month of November. So we will then meet for our November monthly meeting on Monday, November 17, 2025 at 2 p.m. here at the clubhouse. We're all on the same page on that
Yes.
Gotcha.
change?
Gotcha.
Okay. With that, now, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn until Monday, November 17, 2025, at 2 p.m. here at the clubhouse in Highland. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're adjourned till November 17.